Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Uh, Yesterday, I was a part of a podcast, and we were discussing, can you date interracial and still be pro-black? And a lot of people had their insight, their input, their educational or hypothesis. I don't even know if I can really apply that word. I'm educated, but I ain't that educated. Let me make it layman terms. All right. A lot of people had their opinions and ideas of the subject at hand, and I gave my viewpoint. I didn't try to be overly educated, overly analytical. I think we need to stop saying overly educated. I think overly analytical, because some people are overanalyze. They'll overanalyze a penny and try to dissect what the definition of a penny is. So I'm not going to do that. But I do believe you can be pro-black and still date outside of your race. And I say that because pro means that's what you support, that's what you identify with. But love and pro do not, they do and they don't coexist. How do they coexist? They coexist meaning pro-love, right? I'm for love, I support love. But how do they differentiate? Pro means I'm going to support this, but love means I'm open to all. Because you cannot really you can't put a pin in love and say, I only love this. Because at that point, what you're doing is you're stepping over the realms of pro and becoming prejudiced. To say that I only love this, I only love that, I only support this. No. Love conquers all. Love is something it's a universal thing. It connects you to people. It connects you to the planet. It connects you to the atmosphere and everything else. And I'm a man of God, Christian, by the way. So when I talk about nature and all that kind of stuff, don't get it twisted. I'm not going off the deep end about, if that's what people have their own definitions about spirituality, religion, but as far as the subject at hand, if a black man loves a black woman, that's amazing, that's beautiful. If he loves a Caucasian woman, an Asian woman, Middle East, or whatever ethnicity or cultural background she is, that's beautiful. If a black woman loves a black man, once again, it's amazing. But if she loves a Caucasian man, Asian man, Hispanic, Middle East, whatever, it's still the same. You can love who you love and still support your community and still be active in your community. An activist is nothing more than someone who is actively involved in a situation or circumstance. They're actively involved. And you can have your spouse, your significant other, attached with you, supporting that particular movement. And someone brought up the point, well, what if someone said they were pro-white? What if someone said they were pro-Hispanic or whatever? I don't see anything wrong with that. But I do believe it's an issue when you start, you let that passion go unchecked and you start hurting people, whether it's verbally or physically or mentally. That's the problem. That's why I had somewhat of an issue when I looked at the Black Panthers. That's why I had some issues when I have issues when I look at the KKK, of course, and white nationalists and supremacists and all that kind of stuff. It's nothing wrong with you believing what you believe, but when you try to force your opinion, when you try to instill your opinion by any means necessary, that is a problem. That's when pro is basically pro going unchecked. So do I believe that you can date interracially and be pro-black? Yes, I do believe that. And then my last point is this: this guy stated that the Caucasians don't think this way because they don't have these problems that we have, and it's true. Let's be honest. Let's just call it for what it is. Caucasian people do not have the same issues as black people. Not when it comes from a systemic environment or overhead. They have privileges beyond measures. Privileges that they not even aware they have. It's kind of like a spoiled kid. They don't realize they're spoiled because in their world, it's like, I don't see anything wrong with me. I'm used to getting what I want. So what's the problem? It only becomes a problem when they can't get what they want. Now they're fussing and fighting and having little temper tantrums. That's the same thing with white people or Caucasian people. When their privilege is taken from them, only when it's taken or challenged is when they recognize that they're privileged. Is it everyone's fault? No, they can't help that they're privileged. They can't. And I can't get mad at them and say, well, you're a part of the problem. How are they a part of the problem? They don't even realize there's a problem. Some of them have been nested in their little cuddle sacks or in their little safe havens. They don't really know what's going on in the world. They hear about it, but they don't live it. Hearing it, it's almost like someone reading about something and experiencing it. I'm going to go with the person who experienced versus the person who read it, because all you're doing is reading about an experience. But it's only when people get into a place where they try to understand, they try to identify and say, listen, I've never lived it. I'm just trying to understand it. That means I may not agree with your take on it because I haven't experienced it, but I understand why you see it the way you do. And now maybe if I walk with you, I can't walk in your shoes, but if I walk with you, I can see it up close in person. And now I know how to join forces with you and become pro-love. So that's all I have. I hope this helped those who may not be aware. I hope that it's a blessing, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. For all my Texas people who are going through the madness we're all going through right now, hey, I say keep your head up, stay positive. We got pretty much through the power issue. Now we're dealing with the water, so hey, we'll be able to take this as an experience, and hopefully the state of Texas will get their heads out of that one spot that you can't see no light and put that grid and join the grid with the rest of the U.S. and stop acting like their own country. This is what happens when arrogance is at the forefront. So, having said that, talk to y'all later. Many blessings. Take care.